All right, welcome to Spitfire. This is episode 19, one of the longest running and best Call of Duty podcasts. Take no substitute. I know there are a lot out there at the moment right now. You know what? They don't have us, and we'll see how this gets going. Of course, I'm Bryce. I'll be kind of bringing you the topics for this one. Joining me, of course, is Tunn, who is still at a 50% ratio of whether or not we have good or bad production.
I feel like it was bad last week.
Last week, the middle bit was a bit weird.
The end
But more importantly, our guest for this week, due to the YouTube comments, we've invited the TacticalRab on.
You're too kind. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Do I just call you Rab? What should I call you?
Yeah, just call me Rab, dude.
Rab, right, cool.
That gets the job done.
Oh, cool. And returning long-time guest, a man who certainly won't keep his opinion to himself. It's Reedy. Reedy, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be back on again. I mean, I didn't get toasted in the comments last week, so that was a good sign. I'm getting toasted and roasted, but a couple comments were like, "Oh, I don't mind Reedy." Yeah, sweet. Yeah. Appreciate ya.
We'll take that.
I think the main comments was about Rabble. People want some more North American players on. Mm-hmm. We are planning to get more North American players on. The issue being that this is the last scrim day before Fort Worth. We were never going to get players on at this point. Hopefully in the future, now we've got some legitimacy, being the 19 episodes in.
I think we'll try and seduce them this weekend, Bricey.
Oh yeah,
and we'll be fine.
We'll just threaten them. All right, let's jump straight into this one. Fort Worth is literally coming up in just a few days' time. The pools have been drawn, the teams have changed rosters, and that means we now get to kind of cover it in and go through some soft predictions of what we think is going to happen. Let's just jump straight into it. Pool A, Gen G, Team Heretics, UIU, and Denial. First thoughts for this one. Rab, let's go straight to you. You're new.
Cool. Well, this pool is like, I don't know, man. UIU, I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on Gen G, as like whether they're improved or not with this envoy change. Like, I think it's a tough one, isn't it? Because if you go by what the players are saying, that like Spacey wasn't really that much of an impact in terms of the leadership style, then it should be an upgrade on paper, right? Like if he isn't doing any of the IGL stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't expect Gen G to get any worse. I honestly think this probably goes by the seeding. But I think Gen G should be fine. I think like UIU with Parzelion, I actually kind of rate that change. I think they're pretty good. I think Heretics are still better. So I don't know. It's a weird pool, with Denial in there, they could probably upset just about anyone on a good day.
Interesting. A few points you brought up there that are interesting. One, the Spacely thing, right? For me, it's very difficult. And I'm sure some fans think of it this way, because this was basically just called Spacely's team for a long time.
Yeah, it's mad.
Space so dropped from Team Space.
It's hard for me to kind of see them without Spacely. And I wonder if that's given me some sort of bias towards his departure from the team in the terms of like, I just felt it was like a cornerstone of that team. I'm not sure. You can't tell the internals here. Also, just a quick side note. Yeah, does seem to be everyone wearing glasses but me at the moment. I have noticed.
Glasses gang. I've got new glasses actually.
Whip them out.
Brilliant. Reedy, anything you want to kind of jump in with?
Heretics has won the group.
Heretics has won the group.
Yeah, especially they've gone to that boot camp with Optic, Splice.
That's very true.
I can't remember the fourth team, 100T.
100T.
Pretty sure Heretics will walk that group. To be honest with you, I mean that Gen G roster change for Dylan, yeah, it's a good move, but I don't think I don't know how scrims have been going for him, but yeah, I don't really like this game's all teamwork and chemistry at the end of the day, and I feel like they'll find it hard to get on the same pace as Dylan. It's a bit like the EXG when they brought a fast baller out for Robbie. EXG were a good team with a fast baller, and then they just changed one player. The whole dynamic of the team chem playing on the same wavelength, and that just went straight out the fucking window.
That was sort of where I was leaning. The fact of that they haven't had long to practice with Envoy, and I know it's only one change, but that one change can make a big difference. Example being that XG one that we did see. So I think it hurts them for the first week anyway. I think as time goes on, I think it probably works out better. I think on a pure skill basis, I would say Envoy is probably a better player, but.
It's difficult, right?
It's a difficult one, yeah. But the thing is, I thought them and Heretics were going to be quite close anyway. So I'm sort of, I don't know how much their S&D gets affected, and it's such a big thing for them.
That's a very good point. Yeah. They didn't lose one at the Pro League, right? Like 9-0.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I was going to bring up here. Like, usually when you see a first pickup, like hardpoint, you can have like a good time with another hardpoint player. But it's your S&D and the old objective modes that used to suffer. Control, I don't really know. You know, I'm kind of curious to see whether or not the roster changes coming in are going to heavily affect teams coming in. Who's at that pre-land? I know Heretics, Optic, 100 Thieves are there. Did I see Red there?
Splice,
I think.
I saw Marcus Tits hanging around.
Or was it Marky?
One from each pool.
Tweet it out. Yeah, I saw somebody tweet it out. I didn't know if I saw someone from Red Reserve tweet it out. I thought they were there, but never mind. I thought I saw Trey tweet it out. I don't know why I thought I saw Trey.
He quoted Methods' tweet saying there's beef at the Pro League.
That'll be what it is. So it's interesting because we haven't seen, big kind of freeland like that in a while.
You get off CS.
Yeah, he's still playing.
You're not finished yet,
mate. It's nearly, mate. Nearly.
He's just not very good at.
We was 11-4 down. We're winning 12-11 now.
Brilliant. Anyway, it's interesting to see those kind of pre-lands because they do seem to have mixed results in kind of like the history of teams that have done it.
I mean, every European team that's done a pre-land's gone awful for them. So do you remember the pre-land before IAW when all the European teams went out for champs?
Yeah, but
it was all in Commissary.
I still don't feel like that pre-land was like.
Oh no, it was dumb.
As it could be.
No, it was. Trust me. I mean, we were still having fun throughout the day, but when game time came, everyone was putting 110% in.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like if you go back to, and this is old school Halo sort of pre-lands in America, I remember stories coming out of those events like they were super gluing their thumbs back together, like because of the blisters and shit they got from just like they just played like so much at that event. And I don't know if that's a good thing or whether perfect practice is better. Just go and refresh and play those. It's very curious to see, which is like the better method for it. And there's no real way of comparing them. So I'm always very curious when I see these pre-lands go on about how much are you going to improve in that short space of time, or if it's just a case of going in hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with pre-lands. I don't think it depends really who you can get. But yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, the teams there are so good. Like, I can't see a downside for Heretics.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not that
point.
That pre-land right there for Heretics. Like, I mean, it's also good for the other teams because Heretics have been doing super well. Like, they get a bit more of an insight to how good Metals is and Lucky is and the boys. Like,
I think it's actually best for 100 Thieves. I just feel like, I think if you're going to pick a team that's maybe the slowest pace team or was the slowest pace team in that group, like, and they've brought some speed teams in, like Splice is fast, Optic with Dashy back is very fast, and Heretics obviously just play like lunatics continuously. So I'll be very curious to see, how 100 Thieves deal with that and their respawn. I think it's just going to be great for the respawn. I think 100 Thieves is going to have a great respawn after coming into this event if it works.
I really have faith in 100 Thieves, to be honest. I think they're nasty right now. Like, Kenny's been playing a lot better as well. Like, people have been talking smack, I guess, to him for a long time, but like, at least this season. But like, he's super good right now. I think with Heretics as well, like a lot of it maybe in their Gen G match could come down to map set, because I don't think there's any team in the game right now that wants to play Heretics on frequency. Yeah. And like, if Gen G let it, if they let it through in like one or two maps, then I don't know. I mean, Envoy might fit his style, but yeah, I think that comes down to match. I think that comes down to map set. To be fair,
yeah, it can a lot of the time. Just dependent matchup on what maps teams like. I mean, I know we're going to talk about Red and 100 Thieves very shortly in their group, but I predicted that that Red would lose to 100 Thieves, and then Red was like, actually, our map picks are very similar to theirs. So they felt confident in that. So like, it was like their maps were their good maps, and so they were feeling pretty confident in that one. So it's these sort of matchups that sometimes you just sort of like, it's harder to figure out which, like, where they are good and if they are good at the same thing. So both these teams having a decent matchup against each other, and it could change things in terms of Heretics and Gen G. We seen Heretics, what was it, S&D Hacienda, that they didn't lose or something until they played Splice. So
yeah, they kind of got rocked on it back to back the last couple of days, but they were nasty the first week, so I don't know what happened there.
So I think, if there is something in there for Heretics to maybe get an S&D, if they get an S&D, I think they win the series. But it's still a tough one. I still think Gen G are going to be very, very tough. They're good on all game modes, obviously, especially in S&D. But I think, you're talking hard point and control, then Heretics could definitely do the business there.
Yeah, I can see this. I can see Heretics taking this group. I think if you,
It's not a good question.
I can see them taking this group just because they're coming off a really good practice for them coming out of that pre-LAN, and it should maybe take off any rough edges they've still got left. They had a fantastic run in the Pro League. Gen G, it will be a big challenge for them, and I can only see like the vetoes maybe if Heretics pick the wrong vetoes to go the other way. Otherwise, I think it's Heretics. You know, if they get some maps through that they like, they're going to be far too confident coming out of it. In terms of UIU and Denial, I still have this issue where I don't know if Denial is going to do a ton here or whether people underestimate them in the Pro League and let them get some wins.
No, they definitely weren't underestimated in the Pro League. Denial's a super good team, man. It's just like, I mean, I've been in the Pro League like 2 years in a row where I've struggled to get wins sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's the best of the best. Like, them, like, but when we would go to an open event, like, those top AM teams would get rattled by us. I just, like, Denial just needed to find their feet and get a bit comfortable with each other on that stage. Like, I was speaking to Whalers and, like, telling them, like, just chill out, play as a team. You guys all have the talent. Like, their gun skills, like, literally unbelievable. Like, that Riz King guy,
Risk
filthy.
is nasty.
Yeah.
But, like, I think Natshay was playing pretty bad. I might be wrong, but I feel like Natshay was underperforming.
He played much better the last couple of days. He was probably their worst performing player, I think, the first like week or so.
Yeah, so that sums it up there for me.
What do we think about UIU then? Because that's a team we haven't, you know, after Spoof left, I'm not sure on this team as much.
I think the Parzilian change is good.
I think that's a good change, but I never really rated that UIU team. We should have beat them at the Vegas qualifier, choked so bad, and then we beat them in the Pro League qualifier.
Beat them. It's Red Reserve that couldn't beat them originally, but I think I don't know. I think Parzilian's a good change for them, but I just does that mean that they're probably going to have Methods flex?
Yeah, Methods on the Maddox. Yeah, the pacing is so weird, especially looking at this pool. Like, you got Heretics in there, you got UIU. Like, that's opposite ends of the spectrum, surely.
If you're not ready to play like ballistic, this, especially if you're having pacing issues, this is not the pool you want.
Yeah, that is.
You don't want to play Heretics.
You don't want to play the Europeans. Pacing. Yeah.
It's the mainland European teams. They've always been that way. Like, even when I bloody played, they always just flying at you all the time.
Like, World War II is not going to work out great, is it? Like, flying off head glitches and stuff. But this game, that playstyle works so well.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah. So
it's speed. It's pure speed. Is like a golden attribute in this game. If you can work in a coordinated manner without panicking at that kind of pace, you're worth your weight in gold at this point in this game, at this meta. It's 100% the best. And you're going to see this, right? Not this roster mania, but next roster mania. You'll see teams look for those players. Any player who can play speed and play it well.
Hot property.
I'm nice, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just.
I think that's the way it's going to go. So just come to a kind of a consensus on Pool A here. I've got basically the order except I'm flipping Gen G and Heretics. That's basically how I think this group's going to play out. Does anyone disagree?
No. Originally, I had Gen G top, but now that the change came in, I'm leaning towards Heretics a bit more. I thought it was going to be close, but then making a change. Look, I think overall the change isn't a bad change, but I think a week before the event, or 2 weeks before the event, I just think it's maybe a little bit. I don't know. I know it's only one player, but it definitely puts stock into Heretics maybe taking the game off them. So I'm going to go Heretics over Gen G, personally.
Okay.
I'm probably leaning your side as well now, just because I had pre-LAN that Reedy mentioned. I think that might be the difference. I don't know. Personally, I think it's going to be a super close matchup. Comes down to vetoes. I think I can see why Heretics should win. Yeah.
Okay, Reedy?
Yeah, like I said, man, the Heretics has got that group. I mean, I generally thought Gen G wouldn't get rid of Nagathan. So for it to get swapped onto Spacely's head, I mean, I don't know if some of the players were behind that. I know there was rumors going around with a couple of the players that Nagathan was getting dropped. So I don't know how that all went down, but I mean,
Rostamani's mad, man.
I don't know how good that team's going to be without Space. I mean, I know Space doesn't put up the numbers, but he's a character to have in a team. A very good character to have in a team, in fact.
Yeah,
so it's just
I can see that.
ones.
I can see that. All right, let's move on then to Pool B. 100 Thieves, Red Reserve, Enigma 6 Evil Geniuses. Let's start with you this time, Tunn.
Sorry, I was talking in the chat. So this one, let me bring up the polls. Sorry, only half paying attention. I was chatting in the chat that they're giving you shit, Reedy, and rightfully so. Get your game finished, pal.
It's because he's still playing.
I'm done. I've literally just finished it right then. I would tell you about the play I just made in one of the rounds, but quit scope 2 people and then no scoped 1 guy and just go on.
You know, it sounds like bullshit.
It actually wasn't. That's why I said I'm nice hard, because Joel went in game chat.
Let's talk about.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about 4B then. 100 Thieves, Red Reserve, Enigma 6, EG. Okay. I'll kick this one off since half of us aren't paying attention.
Nice one, lads.
I think this is interesting because there's a lot of hype going on around 100, and it always seems to build up to like big events or Pro League or anything. 100 Thieves hype starts coming in again.
I want that hype train, dude.
Dude, everybody loves the 100 Thieves so much. Like, they love that org so much. Like, hype goes so easily for them. Someone's like, yeah, they had good scrims. They had good scrims. Oh, they're winning. They're going to win this event. Yeah, it's great. Like, it's so easy to hype them up here. So I'm very curious to see what they do this time, because I'm trying not to buy into the 100 Thieves hype. And then this group they're in, the problem being is that I don't think it's too hard of a group for them. Red Reserve being their biggest challenge.
Yeah. I think, after what Reece said to me, it sort of makes me think about them against Red 100 Thieves a little bit more. But I just think, I don't know, you just see them keep getting better. And it was like, without the more time they get with pre-start, I feel like they're going to keep getting better, to be honest with you, as well. And, it just seems like the whole team's sort of gelling around them a lot more. I think crowd has definitely helped. They just seem to. I mean, look. At one point during the PLQ, I was sitting there with Mud Dog, and he was literally sitting there with Kenny and having to tap him on the shoulder when to rotate during scrims. Why is this? Why was that an issue in the first place? I don't know. But like, as long as these things have now definitely been fixed, then obviously they're getting better. So hopefully, as
Priest's good.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous good. But
Octane's been playing a lot better as well.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot better. I think in the matchup between 100C and Red, the SMG side of Red though, I think Zero has been really, really, really good so far this season. So I'm up in the air about them two against each other.
I don't like this Red team this year.
You don't, or you do?
The fans, not me. The fans don't like Red this year. They every comment I've ever seen about Red fan wise is they'll hype up like Scraps or Trey, rated version Annihilator play, and then but they'll quite happily shit on rated Bance or Joe, and it'll just be one of those. They'll just pick one of those during any game.
Joe's best game in the past 3 years.
Yeah, Joe's really
Peter,
good.
But the fans are not happy.
I'm sorry. I'm going to throw it out here. Like, I've got my own opinions. The fans don't like me as it is. Majority of them are fucking clueless. Like, they can roast the fuck out of Joe if they want.
I didn't say they were right. I'm just saying.
No, but like, let's not sugarcoat it. Like, Red's team, we expect to do better. 100%, right? That's because they are the best European team. Pinnacle, like, straight up. We love Red. They came second multiple times last year. We just want them to fucking win. Yeah. Right? They brought Bance on board, which on paper, great pickup. Like, they just need, like, I swear to God, if that PLQ was a tournament, I would not be surprised if Red won it, because the way Matty was playing was phenomenal. Like, you will not find another player put in work the way Matty put in that weekend. Like,
really, he was godlike. He was so good.
So they just need to find their feet again. Like, Joe's literally having the best. Like, I have never seen him play like this. I've always roasted Joe. Like, he can't win a gunfight, shoots people in the back. But Joe's actually unbelievable on this game.
He's good.
Like, people need to realize also is that some players like Bance, he's running a bloody Tempest, so that he won't have as many engagements as someone running a cluster. Like Matty's got it all. He's got. No, I don't think Alex voted for Bance at all. I think Bance brings a lot more to it. I think Alex is great, but
people are not happy with Bance.
I don't understand.
Which is surprising, dude. Like, the flip-flop on Bance from the fans is literally crazy. And I wonder if it's affecting him. Like, if he has a bad map, it probably gets to him a little bit.
I don't think it will, because Bance is strong enough. Like, people will jump on his dick after he comes second at Champs, and he will prove people wrong again this year when he does bits again. Like, last year when he came second at Birmingham, people loved Bance. They just have such a high expectation for the kid. Like that's the issue with it.
Yeah,
People have
that's
such a high expectation for Bans. If he underperforms by a little bit,
he holds himself to those expectations, which is why like it could be something it bothers him if he doesn't have a good event or if he has a bad match. We saw this with Trade. You remember what I think it was IW with Trade?
Oh no, that wasn't. He wasn't in his own head. That was his teammates. Teammates ruined him. Yeah. If you let Trey carry on with that confidence, he would have been literally no one could touch him on that game. His teammates ruined him. I'm pretty sure Dylan would say like they or it might have been 8. I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure his teammates ruined him on that game.
He kept changing his reticles. I remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
some BS to be honest, but Trey was literally untouchable in that game, and I'm pretty sure his teammates got in like stuck because he was confident as anything.
I know Rated's confident, but Rated's never not confident.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm actually. Here's the funny thing. This is completely off topic as well. I really want to see what's happened with Rated's diet because he told us. I saw a tweet come out from him or something like he said he dropped a load of. I saw a tweet. What does the tweet say about his diet? He's done something. And I can't remember what he said. Like he's back in the gym now and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just looking forward to seeing Rated.
We told him
on that grind.
Lift heavy. He's just like, no, I'm just not going to eat for 2 weeks. I was like, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do
it. But the team seems to be getting along all right. I'm worried. Like if I was in that team, I would just take Bance's phone away from him because if he has a bad map, the amount of abuse he gets from the fans must be outrageous.
Yeah, Casters as well. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, I know Tunn specifically hates him.
Oh man, that was a time, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I don't know how much faith I've in Red, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I see them winning an event with this roster. I think the other teams are too good this year. I don't know. I mean, Scraps and Zero are still unreal, but I don't know,
It would have to click.
I'm not sure I see it, to be honest. Like, in this pool, I think they should come top 2. Like, back to the pool for a second. I think 100 Thieves personally pretty nasty. Like, Priest is unreal. Crowder seems to be doing work for them. So I think they should take this. I wonder what you guys think about E6 and EG, how much they improve or don't improve with these changes, because E6 bringing in Chino is pretty interesting because it means General plays the faster Maddox, which maybe he's been better with in previous games, playing the more aggressive AR, and then Chino just sits back with the OCR. And then EG have got attachment for Cento. It's like, on paper, it's an upgrade, but I don't think either team is good enough to beat Red or 100 Thieves in this.
EG needed more than one change.
Yeah, it was rumored, wasn't it, that they were going to change? Like,
I honestly think we should have given Ferro a go, personally, but
I heard like even Attach and Zuma might have been, but Zuma's buyout is just crazy.
It was just some people were talking about Ferro in there, and yeah. I think that would have been a good change. I would have highly rated that one. Obviously, you don't know what's happening with 100 Thieves. Yeah. Oh god, that would have been a casting nightmare. Not that we'd have to worry about that, Bryce. But but I just think it would have been a good idea to get him in there. I think he could have been a good addition to that team. But again, you don't know what the crack is with his contract, etc. with 100 Thieves. So I think somebody's probably explored that option. Surely he's a good player. I don't understand why he's not on the team. I mean, Reedy's sort of like
Ferro's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing that would piss me off about him is that every single time last year at the Pro League, my man would be eating a McDonald's in between scrims or before they're about to play. Like, motherfucker, go eat before we get to the studio, man. He loves his McDonald's, man.
That would kind of
annoy me. I've always said that's interesting. I hate players doing that kind of shit now.
Eating Domino's.
You have to. And here's the thing. I just think it's going to become a bigger and bigger thing. Not even like taking care of yourself, but like at events, because days can be long, and you don't know how many games you get in a day most of the time if you're playing when you get in a bracket play. If you know roughly what you're doing, you have to figure out your energy levels throughout the day. It's not so bad with the current format for pros now because it's not like they're going to have to go through a super massive loser bracket run.
This new system very caters that stuff. Like events are going to be weird for these new players, man. For these players that are just like not new players, but for everyone now. Like this is going to be the first event I missed in a long time. But to be honest with you, I'm happy I'm missing it because I don't like this new format. But,
right. Okay.
There it is.
No, I'm just saying I don't like it.
No,
I like the fact that people can come through open bracket and still have a chance. All right, very rarely it would happen.
Yeah, I mean,
still, COD, man, we've had it for same way for the past 7 years.
We've
But you
talked
know the-
about it before, but I just think I think they need. I would have liked to seen something done in between, whereas like the top 4 of the open bracket went through, rather than like how many more was there? I think it was like 8 or 12 went through. I think
I think the issue being
No, that was
a
top
logistical
4 for
nightmare.
groups, and then top
The old
4.
format was a logistical nightmare. Like that many games pumping into open to have terrible games in the groups most of the time.
Oh, sorry. My suggestion was do the top 4 and just put them in losers bracket rather than put them in the group.
I suppose you could, but then like it's just weird. It's difficult to have that system. No one really else has that kind of system.
Yeah.
The best way to do it would be have 2 separate events. On the first weekend, all the AMs get to play, and then the second weekend, those AMs jump straight into the bracket with all the pros. That's how you would do it. But I don't really.
It's an expensive way to do it.
Yes, exactly. But we were talking about ideal, not not
It's gonna be so weird, isn't it? Come champs as well, when you've got like you've got whatever they're calling it, like basically the playoffs event, whatever that's called, is basically just the top 8 teams in the world, and then champs is just right after that with the top 8 teams plus all the other guys that probably aren't going to win. So it just feels weird because when you've got stage 1 and stage 2 playoffs, then it kind of makes sense to have a champs at the end, but you've just got 2 champs back to back, basically. It's a weird system. I don't know if they're going to.
I suppose the benefit of champs is that the 32 teams will just be piling in, so you might be able to see some like progression. And also the best thing for me is it puts a cap on the year of, if you didn't make the pro league this year, but you would do the business at champs, the next year you're likely to be on the pro or a bigger team. Like you'd be like, team come 5th and they come all the way out of open. We haven't seen them all year, but oh my goodness, here's their actual stats for the year, and they've been smashing in open. So you've got a good kind of thing going down, but that'll have to be told at champs time when we get to it here. We need to go back to the pools because we've gone way off topic.
Yeah, my bad.
100 Thieves, Red Reserve, Enigma 6, EG. How do we rank these teams? Tunny, go on.
I'm still going to go 100 Thieves first. Red second. I'm going to say EG third. No, actually, no. I'm sticking with it. I'm going E6 EG. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, 100 T Red E6 EG.
Okay, Rab.
Basically the seed.
Yeah, I'm just going to go by seeding as well. I think that's pretty clear cut. I don't know. Maybe EG can upset E6. I think top 2 should be comfortable with any luck.
It's just the only mode that EG was winning was hardpoint. And
That's very true.
It's not enough to win you a series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reedy?
I think Red will come out top. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
See, it would be very 100 Thieves for this to happen, though, wouldn't it?
I have a feeling it's going to be Red. If E6 didn't make a change, I don't understand why they made that change. I really don't. Cade always seems to get dropped from them. But if
General's dropped Cade like 3 times or something.
Literally every single time after making the league as well. It makes no sense. Cade's a pretty good player. But if they didn't make a change, I would have put them in the top 2. But I'm just going to go Red, 100 Thief. I don't even know. EG, I think Bryce is better than some of the people they kept on that team, to be honest with you. Bryce put me in the coffin at PLQ.
Oh, you want Facendo or not Bryce?
Yeah. Ridiculous at PLQ, though.
Yeah, so
Facendo's is good, man. I love Facendo, so I really don't get it.
Guy, but
I think there's definitely other people that should have been dropped instead of him, but people just want to keep their jobs, and it is what it is. But so I'll put them last in the group, and then I'll put E6 third.
Okay. I'm gonna pick one that I'm gonna change things up. And so first of all, I'm just gonna. My first pick is good old Red Reserve.
How long have you been searching for that?
Just now. I'm gonna put Red Reserve first, mainly just to kind of counterpoint you two. I don't know. For me, if I was gonna go 100 Thieves, it would be on the hoping and wishing that they've got better. Whereas I know Red Reserve were better than they were in the PLQ. Like I know they were. In the Pro League. In the Pro League they were much better in the PLQ. Like it was almost 2 different teams. Once they've figured out their problems. I'm gonna put Red 100 Thieves, and I'm actually gonna go EG over E6.
You're bugging.
And that's just am I though?
You are bugging.
I'm gonna do it.
People were like saying E6 weren't even gonna win a bloody game at the PLQ, and they ended up top in their group.
These series are all played in one day as well. Like the whole of the pool play is done in just Friday, innit? So like it's pretty mad. Like of action. Like if you come out slow, like, and honestly, like a lot of these matches could go either way. Like a load of these teams they love going game 5 as well. So
yeah, I'm just gonna put it that way around, just because everybody else has shit on EG, so I'm gonna put them third as a big bold play that vote. Is.
Wow,
Alan Bryce with the sympathy.
Loving it.
So let's move on to Pool C now. Midnight Esports, Splice, Luminosity Gaming, and Accelerate Gaming. Midnight have first seed here.
This is interesting.
And I don't even know how to go into this one, but I'll be honest with you. This team change makes about as much sense as their graphic designer does.
All right, Midnight and Accelerate. They don't beat the other two teams in this group. Full stop.
You don't reckon?
No.
No, you're right.
No, not a chance.
I don't know why I questioned it. I was like, are you sure? Oh, you're right. You're right.
So Midnight is basically a team that's just like, right, let's just pick
never
some
qualify for the league.
Make the
let's just throw it out there.
Just throw them into a team.
For those who aren't aware.
And
let's throw it out there, Tunn. 2 of the players on Midnight have never qualified for a league in 3 years. Let's just throw that one out there. Parasite and Blast never qualified for a league, yet they're getting a league spot and their whole year sorted out. Scandalous, mate. Absolutely scandalous.
And what I will say is I actually think Parasite's decent at this game.
Well, Parasite is good at this game, but he doesn't deserve to be in the league. He needs to work his way up. But come on.
Knights weren't bad.
Huh?
And just to caveat what you're saying, the Pittsburgh Knights that he was in weren't a bad team.
They got an unlucky pool, dude. All 5 teams above them qualified in their pool.
I think people would feel a lot differently if Parasite had just joined Midnight in place of somebody else.
Yeah, probably. But the whole fact that it was a whole roster overhaul and 2 players that have never made the league got in, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I still think there's better players than Parasite out there.
Well, we'll see. Well, I'll be honest with you, the whole Parasite redemption story has been going on for a little while.
Oh, well, he got in the league team, and I'm seeing him like roasting people on Twitter again about internet and stuff. So
yeah,
that blows my mind.
But realistically, you look at both these teams. EXG is a completely new team. Midnight is a completely new team, and they've had a week. So, if they win a series, I will be shocked, to be honest with you.
One of them's got to beat the other one, though.
Well, apart from them. Yeah, I think I don't even know who I'd give it to in that respect, to be honest.
Because EXG are a weird team.
You give it to Midnight.
They've got Profizi. Okay, so we've got Jet Li, Brack.
Brack's
from
really
Midnight.
good. I like Brack.
Profizi and Jet Li are a pretty nasty SMG duo, and then in terms of pace, and then you got Skies and Emery's, which is questionable, but I don't know. I mean, they got Coach Achura as well. Whatever difference that makes.
Guy from Midnight.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Midnight should win off the new Midnight team. It seems weird, but the new Midnight team should win off talent. I think Llama's decent.
Yeah, I think Lacefield's really good.
I think it depends how Saints does, to be honest. Because if Saints performs like he has in the past, because Lacefield and Saints have the potential to be unreal as an SM. Because Lacefield's been super good this game.
Lacefield's been good, but I haven't rated Saints in a couple of years, to be honest. I don't know. I've never seen them really do anything for me, to be honest. I think Lacefield's good. I think Parasite's good, but other than that, I look at that team and Llama's all right, as well. But I think he benefited from the players around him when that actual Midnight roster was together. I just think I just don't know. I don't think that it's too soon. It doesn't matter what team you make if you've practiced a week before the event. And it's a brand new team, and you're going up against these pros who've all been playing together in the pro league. I just think you probably get your shit pushed in, to be honest with you, to put it nicely.
And Splice were at the pre-LAN as well, so good luck.
Yeah, Splice didn't have a good end to the pro league.
They lost their last 3 games.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So
hopefully that's changed.
I don't know about this team. For me, it's such an unknown because Midnight. I just keep looking at their roster. I've just been sitting here looking at the roster going, my issue is that you could quite easily see this team do more than you would expect them to. Just because they've all got veterancy in some regard. And in my mind, that means that it's an unknown quantity, because I don't want to say that they're really going to do a lot this event, but at the same time, they could be one of those Cinderella stories. Like it all just clicks and it just goes
I
lovely.
do think they've got potential. Don't get me wrong. I just don't agree with the fact that people have never qualified for the leagues got in the league. Like I generally do think that could be a good team. Like Lace is actually filthy. Saints is decent. I know, Tunn, you said you don't really rate him, but Saints is good. Like we scrimmed against him at the PLQ and he dropped like 60. I mean, they still lost the map, but he is filthy. Haggy, I mean, yeah, he's a good player. It just doesn't sit well with me. Like when there's just people I don't know, man. I just feel like I know it's gonna be sound biased, but I feel like Dylan should be in that team over someone like Matt. Don't know why, but I just feel like he should.
But it's never going to happen because
that situation as well.
Like my cat would be good in that team, but it's never going to happen because it's.
Of course,
it's just understand him either, which is unfortunate.
The org being a big issue as well. It's just some shady ass org. Like you can't commit to that.
Yeah, we know your feelings.
Yeah, we've talked about that for an hour.
No, that was against EXG. I like the way he kept some majority of his players though after all that backlash. Like he kept Baller and stuff.
Well, he had to, didn't he?
I don't know if he had to. I swear they kept Emma Ruiz as well.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Like, let's kind of talk about a little bit more like Luminosity then, because we've been talking so much about Midnight and Accelerate. We've kind of ignored the other teams because those two are the interesting ones. LG. Now, I actually saw Nameless tweet there, and I can't know if he's just baiting again, but he thinks this team's disgusting at the moment.
They got better. They got a lot better. Let's be honest. Their 2 weeks couldn't be opposite ends of the scale.
The way they beat Midnight, like the old Midnight, was ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Like apparently they were having the behind the scenes issues Midnight at that time with the org, but I mean, jeez, they got smoked. Yeah. Like this team is super. It's actually really interesting. Like in my power rankings, I'd say like I'd have Splice just above Luminosity. But you don't know what this team's capable of, man. It's actually super hard to tell. The second week they were like unreal, and Slack's played much better week 2. So did John as well. Like Slack's got a lot of the storylines the second week, but John also was much better. And I think John tends to be a kind of player that improves throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of think as this team goes forward, it's going to get better and better. Like Gunless and Formula, it doesn't even need mentioning, does it? So. I have a fair bit of faith they can do something here.
Yeah.
I'm always going to have faith in Gunless and Formal.
I think John needs to step his shit up, though, right? Like, I haven't seen John play well yet this season.
He took over one map, maybe.
But the thing is, Tom, when he does start playing well, you'll fucking know about it.
Oh yeah, you'll know about it, but he hasn't done it yet.
It's just a matter of time, man.
Frequency.
I think Splice are very happy with this current group.
Oh yeah, without
I think after a shaky second week in the Pro League, they are sitting here going, well, this is a good chance to kind of sharpen the knife and just kick the shit out of all the rest of these teams. That's what they should be doing. They should just go into and they should absolutely body all 3 of these teams, ready to keep on moving afterwards.
I think
I think LG would be a great game against them.
I think it'll be a good game.
But if Splice aren't going into this with the mindset that they should just kick the shit out of these teams and move on.
The thing is for me with Splice against LG is back to that John point. Like if him and Slacked aren't playing to their potential, then Splice might run over them, to be honest. I just think, but saying that, Jared didn't have a good second week.
No, so accuracy is at a pretty poor Pro League, to be honest. So
yeah, I think LG win the AR battle, but I think we've seen SMGs be so important so far this year, and I honestly think Jared and Temp together. I mean, Temp is disgusting, and I think
some of the worst games I've ever seen Jared play, which is weird.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, it was surprising, and I don't want to say that's the reason they lost their games, of course, but. It's definitely a factor, but hopefully, if he steps it up, then these lot will win that group, no doubt. But I think that literally comes down to Jared and John, who plays better. I think it could come down to that.
Yeah, not to mention the fact they got the pre-league qualifier, the bloody pre-LAN. I'm distracted because Reedy, I feel like you want to just clarify a point here because I can see you going mad. Reedy, do you want to clarify your point about Mad Cat over Parasite?
I can't be bothered, man. People are dumb.
Yeah, well, not everyone's going to watch the Twitch chat and the VOD, so just clarify what's currently going on. People are not happy.
So in my head, people are sitting there trying to say Mad Cat didn't qualify as well as Parasite didn't qualify, but Mad Cat has also qualified for every other league where Parasite hasn't qualified for every other league. Mad Cat's been at the top of the scene for the past for the past 8 years. Even when he was coming over from Europe, teaming with Americans for the event on the fly, he was still been up there. He's won a season. Parasite hasn't won a season. Parasite won champs. Okay, fair enough. We'll give him that. But that was a long time ago. Dylan only literally came second last year. When was the last time Parasite came second? I just generally thought, in my head, Dylan's a better player than Parasite.
Wasn't
Are
it
you
talked
talking
about?
in the past? Huh?
Wasn't it talked about?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it nearly happened.
About Haggy and Alex, I think, going to
No,
one of those.
it was Matt. I think it was Mad Cat and Alex.
Yeah, Mad Cat and Alex. Yeah.
If Mad Cat and Alex got put in that team over Desi and not Desi, sorry, Desi's a freak. I don't know how Desi's not in a team, but Blast and Parasite, I think that team's better, hands down. I'm sorry,
You know why Desi's not in the team? Because he's got like a 250 grand buyout or some shit.
No, I don't think that's true.
Well, it used to be true. I don't know if it's true anymore.
Yeah.
He tweeted basically that like what people were saying about that G2 were locking him in, that was like bullshit. But like he didn't actually discount the fact that buyout exists. So
yeah,
I mean the buyout probably does exist. I mean, the thing is, Ocelot's like a really genuine person. Like so back on AW, we signed for Kingwing.G2, my old Epsilon team, and it couldn't go through for some reason because of a league spot. And then Ocelot, like we signed the contracts, they were all legal in bind, and he could have held us, but he just released us because we wanted to play in the Pro League, and the Pro League was saying that we could not be in the Pro League if we stayed with them because the licensing was given to the team. So we thought it was in our hands, but it wasn't. But he just released us, and it was like we was about to be the first European team that was going to be on a decent salary as well.
Is this the only with G2?
Yeah, Ocelot, yeah. So he did when Kingwing.G2 came in, it was just Kingwing. He brokered everything for us though.
I'm gonna just quickly. I don't usually jump into the chat this early, but this is interesting because I haven't actually seen this video. Reggie says, "Have you seen Clay's vid where he talks about Splice being shaky and he thinks they might split?" I haven't actually seen this video. I haven't heard those rumors.
I don't think Lamar's good at this game. I'll throw that out there. I don't think Eric's very good as a main AR. I mean, I know main ARs ain't meant to stand out as much, but you get someone like Alec who has been standing out. Like he's just so slow.
I was going to say, do you think it's the disparity between Temp and Jerd, and then
accuracy is slow, so slow, and it's just like that team's pacing can be off at times. But when they're on. That's the issue.
It's difficult considering. Like I know the second week of Pro League was bad, but I mean, arguably they could have won Vegas. I think you still give the team some time.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to give the team some time. But I just generally think COD Esports is so weird. It's like how. One week you can look like the best team in the world, and one week you can turn up to a Pro League qualify and not win a game.
That's the interesting thing about the Pro League, by the way. Is the results this year have been anything but consistent. Like, not even close to consistent.
It will start getting consistent. It will, though.
I think it'll start getting more because Dashy's back.
I thought it was all right, apart from the optic situation is obviously super interesting. I thought it was the results were relatively consistent until Splice lost that game to Denial. Then I was like, okay, what's going on here? But until that point, I thought you could relatively well predict what was going to happen. I guess that was like week 4 whatever. But yeah, I don't think it's been crazy. The optic situation is obviously the interesting one. Like I think basically most people would say optics, obviously it's skipping ahead a little bit, but a lot of people would say optics still the favorite coming into this. We have not seen them on LAN with Dashy in 3 months, which is remarkable for like a Call of Duty season. For them to be the reigning champions, as it were. So,
let's before we move on to Paul, let's quickly get our predictions for this one. I'll start with you, Rab. Paul C.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Splice LG. I think the Splice LG series is probably a game 5. I think Splice's search has probably been better. Like LG have generally relied on gunless and just carried them through searches. I think Splice will take it. I think Midnight will probably be 3rd. Their team should be better than Accelerate. I think Midnight honestly have a chance to do something weird because there's no VODs on this team. Like that is also one thing. Like nobody knows what to expect out of this team right now. They're not at the pre-LAN say. And Parasite has done these kind of things in pools before where he gets a kind of team of scraps. I forget what the team was,
Ghost.
but back in Black
Last
Ops
year.
3, do you remember? Or maybe, yeah, even last year.
Last
But
year
you
was
remember
Ghost.
Black Ops 3 Orlando? He had that Kingsmen team or whatever it was called. And like with some weird players on it, and they like went game 5 of Optic Impulse or something like that. Like they've got a chance of doing something here, but I think Spice LG Midnight Accelerate should be the result.
Okay, Reedy.
It depends. Honestly, I wish I could call Mark and see what's going on in that Pro League, but that pre-land.
Yeah.
But depending on how accuracy's playing, I would, if he's playing fine, I'd put them first. But I have a feeling that LG going to be first, Splice second, Midnight third, EXG fourth. I mean, I do think Midnight could top 2 that group though. I actually do feel like, but then again, people are just, like I put that tweet in a chat and people aren't really taking it serious. So
Interesting. Tunn?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Splice first, but it really could be LG. I think I agree with Reedy to the point of if the ARs on Splice don't play well, they'll be in trouble because the ARs on LG are going to play well, and it comes down to the SMG battle, I suppose. But I'm gonna go Splice first in a close game. LG second, obviously. I think it's a toss-up between Midnight and Accelerate. I think Midnight got good players, but you look at this Accelerate lineup, and they have all sort of been playing Pro League. So I think, even though this is a new team, so to speak, it's scraps of Midnight and Accelerate, essentially. I think, they've been playing at that high level for, like, the past month. So I think that's a factor. I think it'll be super close series. I'm gonna just about give them the edge. I think it's too difficult for this Midnight team to come in there completely thrown together and seeing what happens. I think it'll be a good team in time, but I think a week's practice, especially. I tell you what, we'll link the tweet in the chat just to make everyone aware.
It's an interesting tweet.
Yeah. So that sort of shit going on, you can't really have going on. I think Accelerate will finish third. So I'm gonna Splice, LG, Accelerate, Midnight.
All right, I can see that. I'm probably going to go the same. My reason for picking Splice over LG is because if there is some shaky shit going on in Splice right now, they've got themselves into a situation where they can at least try to figure it out in the next couple of days before the LAN comes up. Like they're going to be there with some brilliant teams that are pre-LAN, with coaches. This is if you're having issues. Like that is the situation in which you can like say, right, well, let's fucking change that, and then literally go test it on LAN in 5 minutes against brilliant teams. So like that's like it's perfect practice if they do it right. If they're in the right mindset where they need to fix shit, that's the thing. If it's a mindset issue, and they're getting beaten by all these teams at the kind of the pre-LAN, it may make it worse. But I'm going to go on the positive side here and pick Splice first. Then LG, obviously, and I'm actually going to put Midnight last as well. I'm just, because it's an unknown quantity, because it's not a Pro League team, because they've come from the outside, realistically, you have to completely disregard their actual seeding and just go, well, we don't know an awful lot about this team. We're kind of guessing, roughly what these players would be doing.
Seeding in this group means nothing.
Yeah. So I will put Midnight in the fourth spot, but that's based on what little kind of sampling we have from them, and it could be very, very different. Let's move on to Pool D then. United, Optic Gaming, Team Envy, and Team Reciprocity. I'll just kick this one off before we kind of delve into it here. Main talking points: Optic have Dashy back. We haven't seen him for 3 months. United had that interesting wobble in terms of roster mania go on. Reciprocity did actually make a change in roster mania, and Team Envy have actually gone a little bit under the radar in my mind across this entire thing, because people are like, oh, they're great. Hugh might have left, I think they were saying, and now I'm not entirely sure what the hell's going on with them.
I think that
someone's flying under the radar in that team that needs to get dropped but won't get dropped. And I ain't gonna say his name because it'll bring people might get a bit butthurt, but I can't be bothered. Let's just say he's got the war machine and he's getting. I don't know, man. I don't know how to put it. But I don't think he should be in that. Like,
too bad.
I mean, Apathy's been underperforming, right, for the Envy team.
Yeah, but he's jacked.
But it's App.
But he'll beat the shit out of you.
but it's app. That's the issue.
Yeah.
You don't drop app.
Champs. That's going to happen, isn't
You
it?
do not drop app.
Like,
The past 3 years, he struggled. He didn't ace his franchise. Maybe I have no idea. But on Black Ops 3, did it even qualify for the league?
I mean, it was relegation, wasn't it? Didn't?
Yeah. He got reversed. He lost. I think he got
Liquid.
3-0 up, and then it was a best of 7.
Team with Merc or something.
Goes and wins champs. Next year looks awful, gets dropped, or something. I think he gets dropped, but he always picks up at the second half of the year, and he turns into an absolute freak. So you just do not drop app. That's my thing on that. But they need to change something up because, like, I know app's gonna come good soon. He'll come good in the next 2 months, a month and a half. But they need something now.
He's also a silly good speed player.
Oh,
He is a
he's
great
so
pressure player, man.
He's so good.
Yeah.
When that kicks in, he is going to be not him and Hugh. I expect to be just the people should be putting them up there as a duo in terms of like that speed play. Just app's not had it yet. When he does, that's going to be a completely different team.
Yeah,
in terms,
nasty.
Yeah, Hugh's
Ridiculous.
Hugh's Hugh. I mean, I don't really need to talk about Hugh. Like he's always going to be fucking disgusting. But it is curious. Like, where do you change that team? I know what you think, Reedy. Rab, do you have any thoughts?
Change in Envy, Jesus. I mean, to be honest, I feel like if they didn't have the good results they had in that second week, like they were almost surely going to make a change. Like towards the end of that second week, how did they finish it off? They 3-0 United, then they beat Heretics on the final 2 days. Like if they don't do that, I think there's no way they don't make a change. I don't know what you do, man. Assault has not been the player he was last year, this season. I think I agree with Reedy's point on apathy overall, that like I don't really think you could drop him. So I guess it's between Aches and Assault if you want to make a 1-for-1 change. Because of course you're keeping Hook and Silly, like that's not even up for question. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess they've decided to stick it out one more event. We'll have to see how they do it. They've got a hell of a tough pool. Personally, I think it may be one of those situations where the fact that they had those 2 good results towards the end, like maybe the team did need a change because they get those results. They're like, oh, maybe we'll just put it off.
This is a terrible pool for them as well. This is the worst pool ever.
The one you want to be in, is it?
I think Splice. I think Optic potentially come in a little bit cold. Typically, they've not necessarily been a Friday team, and I don't think that this team really suffers from that problem necessarily. But they haven't played with Dashu for 3 months now. I really used to be a pro player. Well, I mean, do you think that affects them?
No, they're just coming out of a LAN with 3 of the other really good teams. I think
that's probably a big reason why they did it. Yeah.
Like I think they'll be fine. Dashy's been playing. They've all been playing. They've all been looking good online still. Probably smoking everyone on that pre-LAN that LAN anyway.
Yeah.
So
they're coming in with some energy this event.
They've got something to prove. Again, they want to try and make another dynasty. I generally think they could do it.
Actually, like they've got some key players like that pickup, that roster mania for them when they made this team.
Mm-hmm.
That went well. It went fucking well.
I think Dynasty would be hard to recreate in the current scene.
I don't know, man. Dashy's that player, dude.
No, he is that player, but he played as well as he did at Vegas, and there was still some close games. So
2.2 in search, man.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking joke. Don't get me wrong, he's insane. But I just think.
But that's what they want to do, though, Tunn, isn't it? That's what they want to do. So that's going to be their file to bring. So I don't think that they might start off slow. I mean, I could. No, I'm not gonna say shit, but like, it depends, really. No, I'm not saying that. I'll tell you off stream, but depends. But like, if they come out slow, they come out slow. But they'll kick up on Saturday and Sunday. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah. It's just too easy to pick up the gear. It's just too easy to pick up the gear. It's one of those things before every event. United. Before the every event, everyone likes hypes up to get up because they are admittedly the most popular team by quite a considerable margin, but there is a very good reason to hype them up here. It's unreal how much I favour them in this Pool D. Like for me, it's just I'm putting Optic first. Everything else, I'll figure out later.
I think if United hadn't had the issues that they had, then I could potentially see them giving them a good game. And you're right there, Jordan.
Yeah, just fun.
I think they potentially could cause some issues here, United. But the issues that went on through the week, I know Clayster's made his video about it and stuff, which I'm gonna have to watch after this. But I just think it's going to affect them. I think I look at Pristini, and he's a nice kid, but he's very like it seems quite,
emotional, right?
Yeah, he's emotional, quite pessimistic, and I think it could affect the team.
We've had this before with this team though. Like, it's all doom and gloom, and then they have some good results. Like, I fucking love this team. This team's the fucking best.
Oh no, because they could be good. That's the thing. Like, it just seems as if like.
But that honestly, I generally think it's how their first game goes. If they have a good first game, they'll be on a hype train and can probably win more. They have a terrible first game, and they'll be straight back to blaming each other, and that'll be it.
Yeah,
they're playing Envy game 1.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's a good game. That's the best game they're gonna have. Game 1.
Well, no, because if they lose, then it's a terrible game.
They've got 3-0 by Envy in the league. So
yeah, I want to touch on Rec a little bit though, because I think
we need to because that's the big change.
Yeah, I think that for me was one of the best changes in terms of bringing players in. I think they made one of the better changes. I feel for Dens because I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he's in the wrong position in that team.
for sure.
But I think Dylan, he's going to have that fire coming into that event, man. Holy shit.
Freak.
He is. He's a freak, mate. It's ridiculous. I think he is like one of the next. He is the next breakout player for me. Like 100%. I mean, I know he's already there. He's already there. But I mean, as in like the next level of being ridiculous.
It's sad though because you've got players like Alex, man, and then you think he was a breakout player last year, and then it's just sad. And then at the start of this year, it just makes me sad, man. It makes me sad.
That Lonnie Balance thing was still a fiasco. So is Team Sween. Those two are still a fiasco. I will talk about that for the rest of the year. But anyway, let's not talk about things that we're talking about it. This reciprocity move, I think the general consensus is that everybody thinks it's a good idea. Everybody. And I don't think anybody who doesn't think it's a good idea. Other than people who want to see Dens in more, reciprocity YouTube.
Yeah. I think a couple of people were saying that Shawnee out instead and move Dens to AR.
But a lot of people thought that actually. Yeah, you're right.
But then
I rate Shawnee, man.
Yeah, I rate him as well. But I think that
rated past tense. Hold on.
Rate.
No, rate. But I just think that if you take Dens out and put Dylan in, it's a straight swap. Simple. It's done. Whereas you take Shawnee out, you're gonna move Dens to AR. Dylan in to SMG, and it's just more of a fuck on, isn't it? So I think realistically, it was an easier change to drop Dens.
Do you think they try that if they have a tough event here? Like, do you think they try putting Dens back in?
Potentially.
Yeah, but I don't think you get rid of Dylan. Like,
yeah, they've kept Dens nice, haven't they?
Exactly. Yeah.
That was the thing when we said when Rec picked Dylan up as their sub, we were like, "That's a good idea."
Yeah.
And then when Ross Medley come, we were all like, that's a change. Like that is going to be a change because their pro league was not smooth in any game.
And even if it had been, somebody would have come flying in with thousands for him. So getting them signed up with a contract to make some free money. I mean, that was essentially what they did. But I think it's a good change for them. I think him and Zed running at teams is going to be interesting. I think it's bad that they're in this pool because I think you put them in C and they could potentially come second in that group. Well, then you put them into D, and it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I could see them beating Envy. I could see them possibly beating E United, but there's no way anybody beats Optic in this group for me. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I see it. This is the problem with this group, right? Is that outside of Optic, who we haven't seen in a while, admittedly, and we are kind of gassing that up here. E United have the reported problems behind the scenes. Team Envious was Team Envy, and people aren't entirely sure if they're going to be any good. And Reciprocity's had a roster change. So you'd put Reciprocity, people should be probably thinking Reciprocity should be a little bit better coming into this event. Yeah. Unsure on E United, and Team Envious is kind of almost like a kind of a stable middle ground, but nobody can tell whether that's a good stable middle ground or a bad stable middle ground.
They are so up and down.
Yeah, and that's why you can't figure out where to put these. It's probably the most difficult group to guess, apart from the first place.
I think I'd go if I had to call it, I'd say probably E United second because I think that they can probably get over the internal stuff. I know that Clay and Pristini are kind of more emotional types, but the rest of the guys are probably going to be chill about it. I honestly think they're too talented of a team not to be able to. I don't know. It's tough because with Envy beating the United 3 in the Pro League, to be honest with Envy, I just think that if Hook and Silly don't dominate, then they have a really hard time, especially the way the other three guys are playing right now, as we've seen. They have a really hard time winning a series. Like the way Hugh was playing in that series against United was just ridiculous. And it's like, if he can't maintain that, it's a similar situation with, I thought, like Scraps with Red at the Predi qualifier, you know, like there's no way. And then with Exotic and EG, right, if he drops off just a fraction, they're going to be struggling because he's been playing lights out. So I feel like Envy are they're not consistent enough for me to put them top 2 right here. There's an off chance. I think honestly, Reciprocity may well get the better of Envy as well. I'd probably go Optic 1, EU 2, Rec 3rd, Envy 4th. But I mean, yeah, Reciprocity could do bits in this, but that's just the way I'd call it up front.
Yeah, I'm going to jump straight in it. Yeah, Optic first. I'm just going to ignore that. I agree with a lot of your points, mate. The issue is, like I said, you're trying to figure this out, and E United. I was trying to just do the matchups. I can't see E United really losing to Envy. The Reciprocity change will be the real big tale for E United. But I can't see them winning that either. You'd still have to put E United up there.
It's just like
unless Reciprocity comes up with a fire. But then that I basically have the same thing. Optic, E United, and then I'm trying to figure out the Envy Reciprocity game.
Took against Dylan.
Part of me wants to put the same thing in there. I kind of want to put Reciprocity above Envy.
Yeah, the thing is with the Reciprocity game is, though, I think...
Did you just say Hugh against Dylan?
I mean, Hugh doesn't have any compares, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Tunn.
No, but it's...
Give Dylan a little time and then start comparing them.
No. I'm not comparing them. I'm saying that's the match of what it sort of comes down to, because I think the ARs are relatively similar in terms of performance, although I'd maybe give it a Reciprocity. And then it comes down to who plays better on the SMG front. But, well, it's maybe not...
No, Rec will win that game, but Hugh is...
Yeah, no. I'm not comparing them. Not at all.
Hugh will win the battle, but Rec will win the war. 100%.
There you go. I think, Dylan's a player who can keep up with the pace, though. I don't think they'll get smoked. Like, I don't think he'll get smoked like by Hook. I think Hook causes problems. But I just think that Zed in there, if Apathy doesn't play well, Zed's a good player as well. But
Zed and Dylan, man.
Yeah, it's a good SMG, Joe. I think that's maybe where it could be won or lost, but I don't know. I think it's a tough one to call. I'm going to go Reciprocity third behind a United and Optic, and Envy fourth. And you best believe it, randoms.
Really? Just so you're aware, the three of us have all gone the same way.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same as well. If I'm being honest with you, save some breath. No, I think Envy should be dropping Aches. I think he's Garbo in this game. If they got someone instead of Aches, I think they could actually challenge for the top 2. But other than that, it is what it is. I feel like it's the same. I think E United ain't gonna have any issues at the end of the day. They're all adults. So everyone's job at the end of the day, they'll put differences aside and do what they do, because I mean Clay's done that throughout his whole career now. So
yeah, it's true.
I don't think there'll be any emotion there. I mean, like
there will be. The old shirt rip at the end of the game.
Yeah, but like I know you said like Prestine's a pretty emotional player, but that's when he loses and stuff. I don't think it'll get in their heads or anything. At the end of the day, they're all there to do one thing, and that's to win with each other. And if they're not on the same wavelength, then I don't think they will come second. But I'm pretty sure they're old enough and mature enough to realize what it is.
Here's the thing: I wouldn't, as long as Optics first, I wouldn't be terribly surprised or consider it a massive upset in any kind of configuration of those three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Whichever way they all come, like I wouldn't consider it a massive upset.
I wouldn't consider it an upset even if Rec came top 2 or even Envy. Even Envy,
that's what I'm saying. Like
Envy could do it for sure. I mean, it's Aches versus Optic again, man. I don't know if it works with this new Optic team, but you don't know, man.
Yeah, they got Daffy to counter Aches.
Yeah, that's fair. So
it'd be curious to see how that ends up kind of kicking off for them. All right, if you are watching, let's put some questions in the chat here, because we are just about over an hour now. So let's get the questions in the chat if you want to ask something to the analyst or something not too big. People asked about franchising last time. And that's
you told us about franchising. Well,
yeah. So give us questions, and we'll kind of get those ones in. Is there anything else about Rostermania we haven't covered?
About Rostermania or about Fort Worth?
Rostermania.
Nah, we covered it mostly last week, though, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, but there was some weren't confirmed until now.
Is it worth talking about the open bracket?
We didn't talk too much about attach, I think.
About the open, yeah.
We don't really talk about attach, to be fair.
We didn't talk about attach, but I just think,
It's a meh. It's a meh.
It's like it doesn't change the team for me.
I mean, Goonjar's still your AR, man. Like, come on. That's just my stance.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for them, does it? It
So
doesn't look good.
if Exotic doesn't drop like a 1.2 or something, then like even if attach improves the stats a bit, just looking at pure stat perspective, like there's no way Exotic can keep playing as well as he has been. I feel like if he drops off a bit, then attach is just going to be neutralized whatever benefit he added.
I did get linked a spreadsheet of all the teams going to open, so I can stick that in the chat. Actually, I can't put it in that chat, but I can put it in this chat, and we can maybe talk about some of the top teams there. Talk about who gets sent. Because to be honest, we could do some.
Well, I think it's obvious, kind of jumping straight out there. Team Sween.
Team Sween
had good results.
So
they're the favourites coming into this. They're 100% the favourites coming into this.
You would say so. I think FC Black looked good.
Yeah, FC Black won the 2K, right?
They did. So FC Black. Well, sorry for Team Sween. For anybody in the chat who doesn't have this up, obviously it is Alex, Cammy, Nelson, Quicker, and Wee Man. So that's a good team. Mind Freaker in second. Mind Freak made a change. Beastin is out, and I think it was Setsy from TM.
Yeah, Setsy.
Yeah, Lightning Pandas is now Hawkey, Chain, Maple, Dave, and Petey. It's a good team.
It is. Disappointing to not see Mad Cat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it?
Because he could have went.
Yeah. And from what I understand, there was a lot of teams he could have been in coming into this event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I remember him saying in the podcast last year, the EU podcast, like if he doesn't make the league, like he's out, you know. So like, it's a sad situation, but
it's only to apply for some jobs.
Not out, but.
I'm trying to look at the what I like to call the kind of the standout players or teams. Verdex is quite high. Verdex is the fourth seed coming in, technically the fourth seed.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if I've casted these players. I don't remember ever casting any of them.
Damaging them.
Boofs and Co.
Yeah, I mean, like Zaptius, Nasty, Panda, Super Spoofs, and like that, Glow Frosty or whatever his name is, not to be confused.
Yeah, it's not Frosty. When I seen that before, I was like, hold on. But no, I think
teams in there.
I think FaZe Clan Black, like this is Simp's first proper event.
That's very true. That's exciting.
So it's intriguing to see how good he actually is. A lot of noise being made. That's like a Young Guns team if I've ever seen one. Holy shit.
Lightning Pandas will walk it.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Sween Lightning Pandas final.
Oh, I love that.
No, wait, hold on. I mean, Sween will walk it.
Yeah.
Did I say Lightning Pandas?
You did.
Yeah, yeah.
I meant Sween.
I don't think they'll.
I meant Sween will walk it.
All right, so we are back, and this is all we cut. You'll have cut here because Tunn production.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to download the thing now because of the stupid fucking internet.
Yep. Anyway,
Nice.
So here's a question from Ben. Ben, how do you think it'll be the best? Not that one. Most of the newcomer team to place top four isn't a great question. The reason we don't think it's a great question is if they're a newcomer team, if you mean like they're literally new players, then we don't have that info on them.
Maybe we just take it as top four, like most likely, I don't know, surprise team from the top four from the actual. I don't really want to talk AM bracket top four.
That's the other issue.
AM bracket, like who cares? Like just most likely teams that come top four.
A surprise team to come top four would be Rec, IMO.
Yeah,
I'd pick Rec.
Yeah, Rec's a good shout. Who would I pick here? Honestly, I think Rec may be the best pick. Maybe like, I don't know.
Have a reason to maybe improve.
I just want to throw it out there. I expect Red to be in the top four. Otherwise, they would be my surprise.
Well, you can't pick a team you expect to be on the top four. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's why I said.
Rec.
Yeah.
I feel like Red Reserve might
Heretics
get something together.
Heretics.
Yeah. A lot of people have got Heretics like in and around because it's an interesting event, because you've got Splite United potentially not looking. Because if you look at the Vegas placings, like Optic, they're still number one. United Splice maybe not looking as good as they would have been at Vegas with the turmoil potentially. LG could potentially still be there. Like there's other teams that should be competitive with Optic this time. That's why I think it's exciting because you've got potentially 100 Thieves and Gen G. This time might be the ones being really competitive with Optic, at least like in terms of what the bookies are saying. Like those, I think, are maybe the top two favorites after Optic. Yeah, I think like a Red Reserve or Reciprocity, I'm going to go super EU bias and say like if one of them comes top four, I'd be somewhat surprised, but like I think they have a decent chance.
Okay, there's another great question here actually. How do you think would be the best way for AMs to get into pro teams next year with franchises? Funny enough, it's the best way to get into a pro team next year is to smash the AM bracket this year. You have to absolutely destroy the AM bracket this year and then put in the work at champs. Other than that, like, it's just going to be hard because essentially
Impossible.
I don't think it's going to be possible. I think it's going to be selective. You're going to see teams look at those top AM teams in that AM bracket and see, like, is there a player in there that stands out that I can take? Even if it's for a sub position or whatever, I want to take them. I want to throw them in, see if they work. That's what if I was like in charge of a team next year, that would be my scouting. And
if you're over the age of 21, it's impossible.
I need to find out who's a good player there.
Do you think there's an element to which, like, teams, like the teams themselves, are going to pick up players that just have the branding? Because, like,
franchise players, yeah, you'll pick
someone
up
like Killer, man. Like, no lie, does Killer have a chance to get in a team? There's no chance of relegation. Like, you're not going to get relegated if you're a low tier team. Like, you just pick up Killer, you get the fan base. You know, like, I don't know. I mean,
it's not good business. I'm sorry, I love Killer. He's entertaining.
Fair enough.
But I think the player we've done wrong there is you've picked Killer as the example.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's just in theory, right? Because like, that's what I think. If I'm an AM player, of course, you try and smash the bracket, but you also try and stream as much as possible, build up your brand as much as possible. That gives you the best possible chance. Because some people are looking at it thinking, okay, like if I want to sell a sponsorship. If I want to sell a sponsorship on my team, I have to get the maximum amount of Twitter followers. I
think it's less important for an app because you're going to get that exposure. And most franchises will have those players, like those face players. You basically just got to play. Like, you've just got to be good because they're not worried too much about your shit AM brand. Sorry to
fair enough.
Like, this guy's got 2,000 followers or whatever, and I've got my players on 500,000. Like, it doesn't matter how much you build your brand up at that point. If you want the hype to come from whether or not the pros think you're good and whether or not other people think you're amazing. So you need to put the work in and come high in any event, any 2K or whatever. I'm hoping next year won't be about so much KDs because it'll be very, 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 in my mind, very controlled in terms of, like, we need to make the right move here in this multi-million pound business of franchising spots. So I think it'll be better that way. Anyway, that's a long answer for a very, very question. This one's better. Best looking pro. There was an easy answer to this, but he's no longer a pro.
Yeah. Who's going to say DeQueeve?
Yeah, I was going to say DeQueeve, yeah.
Dave's got to be up there. Jerd's got to be up there.
Oh, yeah, Jerd's a good shout.
Zuma's got to be up there.
Not pros, but okay.
You man are all suspect, man.
I mean, okay, now Zuma.
Reedy, go on then. Who's the best looking pro, man?
Comfortable in our sexuality, pal. That's all.
You man are all suspect. Rab was saying names like fucking anything. No,
Rab's got a long list.
I've been all over Reddit before, man. Like, I've seen the answers. Yeah, I mean, who else? Like, let me have a look through the league here.
He's having a look. Swipe left or right.
Oh, wow. Pro League Tinder.
God.
Man, that'd be something else.
Let's move on then. What new metas will we see at Fort Worth?
None.
Yeah, probably none. Unless someone's hiding something that we haven't seen. They ask about assault packs.
The people that use them?
People are using them.
I guess. I don't know.
It's the Augur Jihad.
The Augur?
Oh, I probably.
I think so.
I have no idea. It's pro, so probably.
Everything's Geode.
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe when we see more Sorgs, do you think? Is there a possibility? Like, if we saw a fair few Sorgs in the Preli, to be fair, like, there was 3 coming out on some maps. Like, I don't think the weapons are changing. I
always think the Sorgs are going
maybe the proportion will change over time.
Malik is just too good of a do everything gun at the moment.
Yeah, probably still 2-2-1, to be fair.
What placement at Fort Worth keeps his current EU roster together? Simp is rubbing his hands ready to pounce.
Ooh,
top 4.
I think less than top 4, then, like, they've got to consider something. Like, if they don't make it out of this pool, like, and it's not set in stone they will, like, I think they change, to be honest, unless they have some crazy losers run.
Well, I suppose they do technically make it out, but I know what you mean. Like, if they finish bottom, then yeah. But I mean, look, you realistically look at the rest of the tournament. I think if they don't finish top 4, questions are asked because they haven't won an event in a long time.
Yeah, but only can have
Sonic will let you know the amount of days that Clay hasn't won an event for. He loves talking about that. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Simpy is licking his lips though for sure right now,
Oh, well,
especially if he performs in the AM bracket here.
he was on his way to nearly being in, wasn't he?
It looked like it, yeah.
So I mean, they're preparing the potential for it, but yeah, I don't think not top 4.
Yeah, Benji has an interesting question, but we can't actually answer it. The most overpaid player, because I don't know all the things.
I don't know what everyone's on.
It'd just be throwing shade at this time.
Marky B.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, he's nailed it in one.
There you go.
What happens to, it says APAC, but I think he means APAC players next year in franchising. Could be an APAC franchise. We have no idea.
I mean, that's the sad thing about it, really, is that the team, like some of the players from APAC will be on franchise teams, but there's not going to be like an Aussie, like a national team, you know, which is so like that's why I doubt it, man. Like that's what I love about CS is like a lot of the teams are national, and of course you have it in the scene in Europe is big enough that that's possible. But in Australia, like you've got to think that like Shocks and Luca and Dens, they're going to get snagged by various teams. Like I would be surprised if there's an Aussie national team. I'd love to see it.
What would the name be? If I had an Aussie national team, what would it be?
Something to do with the C word.
It's either got to be Sydney.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos.
The Bounceroos.
It'll either be Sydney or Canberra.
Yeah.
Canberra?
Yeah. Is
I mean,
that how you say it? Is that how you say it?
Canberra.
I'm sure Australians will be mad at me right now for saying it wrong.
I don't think an Australian watches this.
Yeah, I mean, you see that with the AM scene right now. These players retiring, like Dens is gone, Torres is gone, you know, same thing in down under. It's like, I mean, that's just the global pro league, baby.
Yeah, just so you're aware, I just went onto Wikipedia. It's Canberra.
Excellent.
Also, Tunn, I feel like you were unhappy with that. You realise that's the capital, right?
Capital, yeah, he doesn't know it. He didn't realise it was. He definitely didn't know it was.
A lot of people
He was
do
like,
that.
why did you say Melbourne?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. But okay, yeah, this I've heard this before, and I've sort of thought to myself, well, what?
Yeah.
Obviously, clearly not know my geography.
All I know is the Canberra Koalas are going to do work.
Okay.
Which team benefits most from this optic pre-land? I think we spoke about it. I think 100 Thieves get a great chance to kind of mess it up with some of the fastest teams in the league.
Like, this is a tough one, man. So we got, Optic Splice, 100T, and Heretic.
I think maybe Splice.
I think Heretic.
Iron out the kinks. I mean,
I don't know. I just think
maybe even Optic, dude. Get some practice on LAN again.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a fair point. Practice on LAN with Dashi makes a difference.
Yeah, I think they've done. I think Hex has done bits there for them.
He always does bits. He's a fucking bloke.
Yeah, he really is.
Let's have a look. Gunships. People talk about gunships a lot. I think some guns need a buffer because only 4 guns are always used. Trust me.
He's talking about he wants the gunship out. Wants that shit straight G8.
Man, they want everything GAs. People are talking about like only 4 guns are used. Yeah, but do you understand how hard it is to balance those guns?
Like even in CS, the only reason why you have different guns in CS is because of the economy system. Like without that, you just see the same shit. So like
exactly.
I'm on to see, it's not even bad. I mean, to be honest, I think Black Ops 3 did a much better job of gun balance. Just talk about this briefly. Like the ARs in Black Ops 3, the way they balanced them was so clever. They just, every single gun, they just set the rate of fire and the damage. Like one gun, the manual was 3 to 4 shots. One gun was 4 to 5. One gun was like, you know, they just did it like that. And then they just set the rate of fire so that all the time to kills would be the same. And they just tweak the small things to make them balanced. So like so many ARs are viable in that game.
Yeah, but they don't want that. Like it's too difficult because
it's only Ban Protect really that made it work. Otherwise, it's just been M8s, kind of.
Yeah, it's weird. It's hard.
Yeah.
Anything else? I think that was the end of the questions. Actually, I'm actually slightly distracted here because
which teams are most pressure to perform well this event?
100 Thieves, Optic.
I guess. I mean, yeah, that's true.
Midnight and Accelerate.
Do you think Red, off the back of what you were saying earlier, about the?
I think Red put pressure on themselves. I think the expectation isn't there for them to win this event. So
I think maybe teams that like would be on the verge of changing if they don't perform, like an Envy, like an EU, maybe. I think honestly, I mean, to be fair, like after this event, you've got 2 more weeks of cross-divisional play. Like you can't just crash and burn here. You have to keep something together. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. One of those teams.
So here's an interesting side note. Nameless has been tweeting out about this TCL challenge. He's getting a lot of shit about it. And then he said it's now hand-to-hand combat. You better be ready. So I messaged him back and said, now I've got a chance. And now he's trying to torch me. It's like saying that I move in slow-mo. Like, Nameless is like 5 foot tall.
Right, you weren't at the PLQ when they were trying. All the American casters were like, we would beat you at any. If you get the British casters and all the American casters, we beat you at any sport. And I was calling bullshit. Bullshit. You should have. Right, at one point, Pac-Man said cycling wasn't a sport, and that is the point where I walked out the fucking room. Do not start. Do not start, because you will see what happens if we bring this conversation up this week, Bricey. Deluded.
Wait, Bryce is going.
Who knows?
Might be.
Go, Bryce.
I've just thrown some fire at Nameless. That should be fun. All right, I think that's the end of the Spitfire.
No. How is everyone looking forward to us? G-Finity London.
A lot. We're gonna have a specific episode. Sorry, we're gonna be a G-Finity London episode.
Yeah.
We're working on the guest list for it.
I know the creases.
We're trying to do something special for our 20th episode, but it's actually the one directly after Fort Worth, so I don't know if we'll have time to. So maybe the 21st episode.
21st, maybe.
Record one there, man, you lazy pricks.
Mate, record there. Mate, our schedule is mad. We work like 15-hour days at Vegas, man. How am I recording a podcast when I'm on a desk for 12 hours? That is the podcast. We're talking about the games. That is the podcast.
We'll just call that episode 20. CWL Fort Worth, yeah.
Anyway, where else again? Right, end of the episode. We've got more episodes to come. Tunn, anything from you?
No. This will be obviously tomorrow morning. I'll schedule it to go out. Obviously, we're away to Fort Worth, so there'll be no other videos until after that. And that's it.
All right, Reedy?
Peace.
Oh,
nice. Rab, I believe a lot of people want to sub something about subbing to you.
I'm nearing 10K, dude. I don't know. It's about maybe 100 subs away, something like that. So that's been the goal for a bit. I've daily uploaded for, I think, since the 2nd of January. So
yeah,
it's been going all right.
He tortures me on views on a daily basis.
Nah, I mean, so you just need to get your thumbnails doing, man.
Mate, you're telling me.
Don't start. Like, he's the laziest kind of production I've ever seen. Like, he just doesn't bother. Doesn't want to do any of that.
I mean, to be fair, like Thorin's content, he doesn't put any effort.
But that's Thorin. I'm me.
Yeah, Thorin is a genius. All right, make sure you sub to Rab then. This has been this episode. We will see you after Fort Worth for our next one. I'm thinking it will be on the Wednesday, because we'll probably be able to bug it after Tuesday traveling.
Possibly.
Oh, God. Typical Tom. We don't know when we're on. We'll be back at some point. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.